Most crops in Maryland have a connection to the past, not unlike the crop in our next story, industrial hemp. It fell out of favor due to the connection to its cousin marijuana, but now it's back.
It is something that I do see as the future. It's kind of back to the future again, right? We're bringing something back that was once a staple in this country.
Andy Bennett stands before a field of hemp, also known as cannabis sativa, a crop known for its rapid growth and fibrous strength. It's also often confused for marijuana.
One of the first things we said when we started is this is going to be an education for folks, because people do just that. They say, yeah, you're growing that Andy's growing that wacky weed up the road there, that kind of thing, and you're going, no, just come see, so that we can teach these folks that, no, this is an agronomic crop that we cut with a sickle bar mower, and we rake it, and we windrow it, and we bale it, and we put it in the barn.
Hemp and marijuana both derive from the cannabis plant. The key difference between the two is their levels of tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, the chemical compound known to produce a psychoactive high. Whereas marijuana could contain THC as high as 25% by dry weight, hemp, by legal definition, contains less than 0.03%.
Nothing we grow goes in your body. We're growing this for the stalk. The top part of this plant doesn't matter to us. If you snap this, when this comes off, this is what's called the bast fiber, okay, on the outside. This outer layer here is stronger than steel from a tensile strength standpoint, and it's 100% natural. The inside of this plant here, this inner kind of pithy piece, if you will, is what's called the hurd, and that's really what we're using most of this plant for right now. And see, I can kind of break it up, and you'll see a lot of this in your Tractor Supplies or your local farmers co-op and that kind of thing for animal bedding. And so a lot of this will get processed also for hempcrete, for drywall, for fiberboard, that kind of thing. That's what we're using our stuff for. If we can just have the mindset that this is not something that is intoxicating. There's a myriad of different uses for this plant.
In fact, hemp is one of the oldest cultivated crops, with historians estimating it was first turned into fiber 8,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia. Egyptian, Chinese, and Roman cultures used the crop for textiles, rope, and sailing. But in the United States, hemp was more than just a commodity. The very threads of the American Revolution were stitched with the crop. The Declaration of Independence drafts were written on hemp paper, and Betsy Ross sewed the first American flag with the fiber.
Back when this country was being settled, you had to grow hemp.
And in World War II, farmers grew hemp for uniforms, naval rigging, and even parachutes for the brave men landing in dangerous territory. It was vital to the effort. But then, the industry faded.
There was a movement in 1937 to abolish marijuana. And so the federal government did the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act that said, this is going out. And in doing so, hemp went with that.
The tax was lifted briefly for the war effort before production was completely banned in 1970. However, in the 2018 Farm Bill, the door to hemp cultivation was reopened with a caveat.
Industrial hemp folks are still beheld to the same rigors as if we were growing marijuana or CBD. And what I mean by that is I still have to be fingerprinted, background checked, anointed worthy by the FBI every single year to grow this. That's one of the things that hinders the ability to kind of scale this.
While others see red tape, Andy sees the potential reward. And he's joined by others, such as Mark Woe of JJ Innovations, a company focused on developing environmentally friendly construction materials.
Nowadays, we learn how to make all these amazing plastics and petroleum products and realize how that's not so great for the environment, not so great for our health. But hemp is quite amazing. It grows very fast. It sequesters tons of carbon out of the atmosphere so we can heal the environment instead of hurting it. It's naturally resistant to most things like mold, moisture, pest, fire, which is great for us.
After the harvest, Andy will process the hemp according to the needs of offtake partners like Mark, who's researching ways to turn it into materials such as drywall and tiles.
We mix a lot of very specific plants and rock with the appropriate binders together, where we can build out a copy of existing construction material products.
Considering that nearly 40% of global carbon emissions come from the construction sector, hemp could be a game changer. It's Andy's hope that in time, hemp will be an American staple crop as it once was.
The rain stopped. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see.
Better that way than the other way.
Thanks for watching Maryland Farm and Harvest. We hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos. To learn more about our show and watch full episodes, check out mpt.org/farm or just click the link in the description.